The answer I'm going to give to that is no, it is absolutely not inevitable. All the pessimism about how impossible monogamy is just that.
It's just pessimism. The best survey research says that only 31% of men and 20% of women in their 40s and 50s report having sex with somebody who isn't their partner. And this is in spite of the fact that more of us are out in the workplace and 60% of affairs start in the workplace. The news you can use is that most of us are faithful, even if we're not always happy in our relationships. We're faithful and we struggle to stay faithful and we want to stay faithful. Most of us know the value of these bonds of love that we have with our partner, and we protect them.
Why him? Why her? Why do you fall in love with one person rather than another? There's all kinds of cultural reasons. We tend to fall in love when the timing is right. We tend to fall in love with somebody who's around. Proximity is important. We tend to fall in love with somebody from the same ethnic and socioeconomic background, somebody of the same level of education. And there's 4 basic brain systems that each one of them is associated with a constellation, a suite, a group of personality traits: dopamine, serotonin, testosterone, and estrogen systems. I created a questionnaire to see to what degree you express the traits in all 4 of these basic brain systems. It's now been taken by over 15 million people in 40 countries, and I'm able to watch who's naturally drawn to whom. If you're very high on the traits in the dopamine system, risk-taking, novelty-seeking, curious, creative, you tend to be drawn to people like yourself. If you are very high on the traits of the serotonin system, you tend to be traditional, conventional, follow the rules, respect authority, detail-oriented rather than theoretical. You're also drawn to people like yourself. So if you're very high testosterone, you tend to be analytical, logical, direct, decisive, good at things like math, engineering, computers, music. Music's very structural. And you're drawn to your opposite, high estrogen people. And this is men as well as women, many more women in that category. They tend to see the big picture. They think long term. They're very imaginative, very good at reading posture, gesture, tone of voice. We all express all 4 systems. This is what the problem is with most personality questionnaires today. They put you in one bucket or another. We express all 4 brain systems and the traits in each, but we express some more than others.
Let me take you to the 1930s, to North London, to an elite professional group, the Institute of Psychoanalysis. There's a new member in the group, John Bowlby, but he's not fitting in. His mind is too scientific to win friends here, yet within a few decades, his ideas will be known and studied in universities around the world. And in the 21st century, they're popping up in our news feeds, influencing how we raise our children and work on our relationships. Bowlby believed all behavior makes sense in context. It's a belief that can inspire curiosity and respect for our own behavior and for the behavior of those around us, and it inspired Bowlby to make sense of the parent-child bond. We're looking at an image from a 1930s experiment where a baby monkey has been taken from his real mother and placed in a cage. There are 2 options in the cage: a wire mother who can provide milk, and a cloth mother who has no milk, but whose softness provides a crumb of comfort. The experiment showed that the monkeys chose the cloth mother every time, and they only reach for the wire mother when they really need to feed. Bowlby studied these experiments, and he noticed that young creatures attach to their caregiver. They attach to the one who provides safety and comfort. And he stressed that this attachment to a supportive other is not just for babies. We all need someone to whom we can turn, whose presence soothes us when we're troubled. Bowlby saw evolution at work. This bonding behaviour is so deeply embedded in us because it supports survival of the species.
Some couples that come to me define a good, healthy, and romantic relationship as something that is free from conflict, free from friction, and free from disagreements. And this is a major misconception. The fairy tales do quite a bad job of describing, let's say, heated arguments over the dishes in the castle, the affairs in the secret garden, or the discussions if or if not you should have a child. And don't even get me started on that evil mother-in-law. There are no lucky charms for you to just get the skills to be a part of a relationship. Love isn't all we need after all. We need the skills to get the love going. We also need the respect for one another, but also to ourselves.
Love at first sight is extremely easy to explain. This is a brain system. It's like the fear system or the anger system, and it can be triggered instantly. You got to be ready for it, and we all carry in our head what I call a love map, an unconscious and conscious list of what you're looking for in a partner. But the moment comes, you're ready to fall in love, you see somebody from across the crowded room or wherever, they fit within your love map. You go over and you speak to them, they smile sweetly at you, they say something that's funny or charming or interesting, and boom, instantly trigger that brain circuitry for romantic love. Attachment, that other brain system, grows slowly. You have to get to know somebody to begin to feel attachment, but romantic love can be instant, yes.
One way to understand this is to look at the definition on what sexology actually is, the knowledge of the human sexuality. And this is a phenomenon that could be understood through many perspectives. For example, biology perspective and the knowledge of our bodies. We all have a unique physique, with different zones on it that are sensitive to touch. And this explains why some people like to be kissed on the neck and others like getting their toes sucked. And this is good information to have during sex if you want pleasure, both for yourself but also for the ones that you have sex with. And pleasure could be explored in all infinity if you only have the imagination. Which leads us to the field of psychology, the knowledge of the mind, the behaviors and the feelings, how we think and dream about sex, and how we behave before, during and after sexual relations, and how it makes us feel. Psychology is a broad spectrum of things happening inside of us that we sometimes are quite aware of and sometimes totally not.